Hey, so this video is going to be very hard for me to do because this is raw. This is me actually talking about a special part of me that I never really expressed to anybody. But making this channel and starting this journey, I feel it's appropriate to talk about my whole testimony on how I became who I am now. So ever since I was little, apparently I've always seen spirits. And according to my mom, when I was 3 years old or 2 years old, I was in my little seat, and I was the one who told my mom that I was sorry for her loss. And she didn't know what I was talking about till I told her that a family member passed. Shortly after, she got a phone call saying that this person has, passed. Because I told her apparently this person visited me the night before and they moved on. Like growing up, like around like 9 and like right around that age, I would see spirits. This one I seen as like a tall beam of light. It still scared me because I was 9 years old. I saw this one person in my childhood home just walk across the living room like it was nothing. But luckily with my mom, she embraced her gift of seeing spirits, and she was doing meditation. She was in touch with her ancestors and working through all that. So she was able to explain to me that I was seeing ghosts, I was seeing spirits. But that's the extent of it. I just thought, okay, cool, I could talk to dead people. But that was the extent of it. I actually come from a 4th generation of psychics. But me and my mom are the only ones that really embraced it and did some research. Not research, but like started looking more into it of who we are and what gifts we operate from. I don't like titles, so I'm not going to say, I say I'm a medium so that people will understand a little bit better, but at the same time, I have no denomination when it comes to religion. I'm not religious. I'm an empath. I can feel what that person's feeling. I can take on their energy. So if this person's in a bad mood and I start feeling like I'm in a bad mood, I'm picking up their energy. Everything didn't start until I was 16, like 15, 16 years old, when we first moved to North Carolina. It started in 11th grade in an English class. I had the most severe anxiety ever. It was the worst I've ever experienced. It was during a school lesson of the Holocaust. All of a sudden, I started feeling like I was there. I was living it, then come back to reality, started living it again, come back to reality. I thought I was seeing Nazi soldiers at my house. The worst thing ever, which I still don't understand why I went through that. I don't know if it was just me taking that on or a past life, which I think is more of a past life than anything, because I started feeling like I was flip-flopping from reality to a dream state, etc. But I'm not crazy. So I did have counseling on that, and they just said, okay, you're just having anxiety, you're going through your puberty, blah, blah, blah. So that's how I'm taking, that's all that was just hormones, whatever. But at my mom's house, like this new house that we moved into when I was 15 and 16, I was having my first out of body. I was having my first sleep paralysis. I was hearing disembodied voices, and they would whisper my name. So I would say hi back, what's up, what's good, we're cool. But apparently they had messages, but I didn't learn that far on how to tap in. I never did a reading or nothing like that. It was, oh cool, said this house is haunted. So I started attending a church. I was in a youth group because I love God. I still love him. So I was building my relationship with God first. And I was telling somebody, look, I'm suffering from severe anxiety. I'm having thoughts that's not mine. I can't sleep. I'm on all these, I'm doing all this, medical stuff. Well, the one person, all she had to say was, well, that's the devil. Okay. So that's when I started learning to them, oh, well, there is a God and then there's a devil. So the devil is just coming up against me. So that's when I started shoving down everything I was hearing. The ghosts that would try to communicate, nope, you're the devil. Done. I rebuke you. And I started pushing it away. Before I started shoving it down, I did a reading for another neighbor, and that gave her closure. It was something good because I was talking to her parents, and this woman, she was up in age, and it was so nice. I was telling her things that I wouldn't know. So she pulls out the photos. Is this who you saw? I said, oh, yeah, that's the lady with the, gardening or whatever. And I'm just confirming. So I was doing readings. I did a reading for an ex-boyfriend's parents, and everything like that. So, but then I started shoving it down because I thought what I had was not good. And that's when it all began. I started attending other churches in 2012 when I was pregnant with my middle son. I got saved, which was the acknowledgement that Jesus is my Lord and Savior. But it was different when I was getting prayed on. The sun was coming in different. And that's when I knew it was presence of God, that I was acknowledging, and I was coming out of the darkness, like with the anxiety and everything like that. I was done counseling at 17, but 19 I got saved. But then that's when I just thought that there's a devil, he's out to get me. No. And I started listening to church and everything like that, which is it's okay. I'm not here to bash churches, but church is what helped me get to where I am now. I started learning more about God, but then there were some things I didn't agree, so I would dismiss. Okay. I was more giving myself more to God than what I already did. So I started attending 3 other churches, and because I really, really wanted a family, I was praying for a husband figure because I was a single parent at the time. I started feeling like I had to, there was like a different idea of God. So I had to please this God by becoming someone that I really wasn't. I was shoving down, I'm not going to talk to ghosts, I'm not going to talk to spirits, because that's not good, and in God, and that's in the Old Testament. I was getting all mixed up. And people who knew me back in 2013, 2014 confirm that I was pretty much a Jesus freak, because I was going around making sure I got everybody saved. Everybody has to go to heaven, because hell is real, which it is. It is real. I'm not going to downplay that, but not in a sense of to me, that hell is real, but it's not in a sense of an angry God sending his children to the lake of fire. That's not where I'm at anymore. I'm just just going all out. But meanwhile, the anxiety actually started continuing a little bit, where I had another out of body, but I thought it was the devil, because I was sleeping with the Bible under my pillow because I was having these nightmares. And when I had this out of body, it was a voice, and he was warning me, be careful of who steals your light. And there was other stuff too. I wrote it down, but unfortunately I testified it in church, saying that the devil, came to see me, but I rebuked him, give me a pat on the back, and it wasn't the devil. It actually took 8 years to find out that that was not the devil, that it was actually my spirit guide, who that voice comes over the spirit box, and that's how I know who it is. And then he goes, that's my spirit guide, Steve. I came across, I started learning from another preacher on YouTube that my mom came across because she was getting sick and tired of the where she was at, and she came across a man who was talking about more of quantum physics, and another preacher who was talking about the Bible, that it was actually, there's just different versions of the Bible, the ones that the church goes by, and then what it really means, what year it was, who was it intended to. So we started following him, and it made a whole lot of sense. I started seeing God in a whole different light, that I didn't have to be someone I wasn't just to be blessed, that I'm already blessed. It's all about manifestation, that what I want, and it's in my heart, I'm going to receive. It's all about mentality. It's all about what energy I am giving out. If I was putting out an image that I'm a victim, that nothing's going to go good for me, and I have that mentality, then that's what I'm going to receive. I started realizing that I am loved by God without changing a thing, because he made me for who I am. And I'm on a journey, so I'm understanding my journey as to why I'm seeing these ghosts, why I'm seeing spirits, and how I can communicate with the other side. But it's not just a ghost, were you here, tap twice, nothing like that. Or conjuring. I do not conjure at all. I do not do rituals. I don't do any of that, because it comes naturally, it comes to me, it's instinctive. I just started accepting who I am. Actually, a ghost is what helped me get to where I am now after 8 years. But after I got out of a situation, that's when she was able to move on, because in her life, unfortunately, she cut short because she was going through this trauma. And I guess the way she felt that she helped me, that's what helped her cross her over. And then I was like, this is what I'm doing. It was, I have to thank the church, because I did start growing. That's what helped me build my relationship with God. It was more of a identity crisis of who I am in Christ and who I am in God's eyes. That's what all it is in a nutshell. Because hell is of the mind. Hell is depression. Hell is feeling that you're not worthy. I'm not like a Bible teacher, so I'm not here to teach the Bible. But when I started looking at it in a different light, that I don't have to cry every day begging God for anything, and I started changing my mindset, that's when I had my breakthrough. And that's when I realized, okay, attending a church building is not for me, but knowing my relationship in God and knowing his voice, knowing, what it's like, to be in God's presence, that's how I'm grounding myself. And then I'm able to help others. It actually started, what year was it? 2019? I want to say 2019. I was in the shower, and I started talking to God more. I started talking to God, and I said, Lord, how do you feel when people just put you in a box? Like, you're just this one track God, and that's it. He said, and I felt it was like thunder, and I get it right here in my stomach, because that's where my spirit man is. This is where my spirit is. Felt it. I heard, and it was strong. He said, they don't put me in a box. He said, they put themselves in a box. And he said to me, and this is where it all began. All he had to say was, I will not be calculated. The universe cannot be calculated. And I started seeing constellations, and then I found myself on the bathroom floor. I started drying myself off, get dressed, and I'm on the bathroom floor. That's when he was just, the more I'm praying in tongues, the more I'm getting more information. Everything's on fire. He said, he's like, I will not be calculated. I started seeing there was angels and these stars, but these stars had personalities. It was just this mind-blowing vision, and I didn't want to get up. I didn't want to leave. My oldest son, he heard me praying in tongues, and that's when he sat down on the floor with me. I'm getting emotional. Excuse me. He sat on the floor with me, and then we started praying and thanking God together. And it was the most beautiful breakthrough. And those who were not in the same, because I'm not going to call anybody out, but those who were not in the same spirit timeline as me, could not go over that threshold of that bathroom. I was engulfed in God's presence. And it was so overwhelming. And that was my spiritual breakthrough. And that's when I said, okay, now I can be used by God. I started seeing more into the paranormal. Some people I did not agree with, to play around with ghosts, provoking them, because they're people too. And there's a reason why ghosts are ghosts and spirits are spirits. And I'm going to make another video that there is a difference between a ghost and a spirit. Yes. So that's when I started realizing, okay, from 2020 on was when I accepted my psychic abilities, my mediumship. I want to help others. And so far, I gave, I want to say 2 people 2 readings so far. And I want to do more, because when they feel good, I feel good. And I give God the glory, because He's using me. And the way that I'm built, I'm able to hear God. I'm able to get in tune with the way my mind is. Whether, I don't know if it's because I'm left-handed, or I'm a Cancer and I'm sensitive. I don't know how. I don't know why I am the way I am. I don't know like what factors made me who I am, but I am who I am. And I'm going to give God the glory throughout this whole time, because it was Him, it is Him, and it's still going to be Him who's going to help me help you, help others, and relay messages. Because when we die, it's not the end. And I'm telling you, that is the truth. That when you die, there is an afterlife. I'm going to use this channel to teach others who are interested. I will not debate. I don't want to argue. I don't want to Bible fight. I don't want to pick scriptures out of a Bible like trail mix to use against each other, because I'm not about that. I'm not going to argue no more. That I am part of a mediumship. I am a mediator between the dead and the living, and I am God's vessel, and I'm going to use this channel to teach others and to document each time I'm helping others. That's it in a nutshell. So, there you go.